And I'm going to review the predecessor in another video, but I guess since I just got her in, it's more convenient to do her first since I have to dig up the other one. But this is a limited edition 17-inch doll from Saks Fifth Avenue. Now, 17-inch dolls are usually released exclusively by the Disney store, by Shop Disney. And especially dolls of this size, you can tell just me next to her, this is a huge box. Usually boxes of this size are reserved for so-called platinum releases. Where that term came from is a little bit lost, I guess, to history. The very first so-called platinum release, ironically, was of Cinderella, the live action version from the live action movie starring Lily James. And it was of her in her wedding dress, and they only have 500 of her. And she was sold out in, like, no joke, like a minute, like 60 seconds or something, like gone in 60 seconds. Like that movie, was it with Nick Cage or whatever? Like she was gone in 60 seconds. It was just insane. And I don't think they even called it platinum at the time. It was just a wedding Cinderella, but somehow the name stuck and then it became official. And so usually the platinum sets are called platinum because they're very limited. They're very high quality, they're very expensive, and they're they come in large boxes. So this is not technically a platinum release because it's by Saks Fifth Avenue. It's an exclusive to the Saks Fifth Avenue chain of stores. But because, as you can see, because of its size and quality, I essentially lump it with the platinum series. So there's 2,500 of them total, which is quite an increase in edition size from Snow White. Snow White was the inaugural version. They did a winter version of her, which is gorgeous. And she was limited to only 1,000. So I think they learned their lesson because she was in a lot of demand. And so they increased it, they more than doubled it to 2,500 for Cinderella. So the numbers, the limitations for this is also much higher than a platinum release. Platinum releases usually go no higher than 750. And most of the time, I think almost all of the time, it's like 500 or lower, with some even as low as 250. For instance, the Aladdin and Jasmine wedding platinum, only 250 were made of those. So that's another distinction, okay? So when you look at the box, it's a very beautiful box. It's kind of in the same color as Cinderella's dress from the animated version. When you see it from a certain light, it's kind of iridescent. And the flap is not split down the middle, but it's actually asymmetric. They also have, of course, the clock on the front, which is a really nice touch. It says the Cinderella Collection Doll, limited edition 1 to 2,500, designed exclusively for Saks Fifth Avenue. If you want to look at the back, it just kind of talks again a little bit about the doll itself. I'll just read it real quickly for you. Disney is proud to present the limited edition Cinderella doll that captures her timeless beauty. Disney artists have brought to life one of Disney's most iconic princesses in extraordinary detail, inspired by Cinderella's grace. This doll features an extravagant skirt, embroidered metallic silver lace, voluminous organza puff sleeves, and elegant elbow-length gloves, which provide the final touches to a spectacular gown. With her classic updo and iconic glass slippers, Cinderella is truly the belle of the ball, making this doll a treasured addition to any collection. And another thing about the price, it's $400, $395, not including tax and shipping from Saks Fifth Avenue. So it's a pretty expensive doll. Not to mention, I think they have a problem shipping this internationally for some reason. So a lot of our friends in the international areas have to get this secondhand, which is a bit unfortunate. So let's open her up and let me see if you guys can really appreciate what she looks like. So here you go. And I will do a second section of this so that we'll take the plastic off and you'll have a chance to see her up close and personal without the plastic. But as you can see, again, this is a massive, massive doll, massive box. These are magnetized, so they close and they magnetize, so you open them up. So this gives you an example of what she looks like. So very beautiful. I'm going to close this for now, and then I will see you at the next section after I've taken off the plastic, and we can take a look at her in a little bit more detail. Okay, welcome back to the next segment. So I've taken her out of her box and removed the protective plastic. So we have a chance to see her in all her glory, so to speak. First of all, here is the certificate of authenticity. I got 2216 out of 2500. So pretty high number, that's fine. So let's talk about kind of the doll itself. First of all, just looking at her, you know, she is a pretty spectacular example of the 17-inch doll. Looking at the backdrop, it's done really nicely. And a lot of times these dolls have just very simple backdrops, but if you look at that, they actually show her kind of down the stairs. So, you know, it's obviously meant to convey her running away, about to lose, you know, her glass slipper. So very, very classy background. You can see the guards there. And then the next thing is just her face. Obviously, as with all of these limited edition dolls, it comes with rooted hair and eyelashes. She has these very, very nice earrings on the side, right here. Here's a do. I'm pretty satisfied with this. Some people got dolls where their hair is just completely a mess, but I'm quite satisfied. You can look at her band, studded with you know, little pieces of Swarovski crystal. Very, very pretty. Really like her face. It's one of my favorite face sculpts. They did a great job. I don't know whether they repeated it with this, or whether this was a face sculpt specifically for the Saks Fifth Avenue release, but it's a really, really nice one. I really, really enjoy it. You can see her choker. If you go close enough, you can see that that's also glittering, and it's studded with black crystals right there. Okay, so if I can move it back and forth, you can see the light shining off of it, so it's very classy. And then, of course, you have her ball gown. Again, studded with little crystals. You have her sleeves on both sides. And then you have this incredible dress, just kind of going backwards. You can see the embroidery. It's got several layers. It's tacked down here, so unfortunately I can't really lift it up to show you the glass slipper. But you know, I'm not a deboxer, so you have to look elsewhere for that. But overall, I mean, this is essentially a stunning version of the classic animated Cinderella. If you are a Cinderella fan and a collector of dolls of her, I can't imagine it getting any better than this. And when I started collecting these, the only 17-inch version of her, in terms of the animated version, was it wasn't one of the best versions. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, her dress was like, you know, sky blue, which is not the correct coloration. Her hair was way too poofy. I mean, this is gorgeous. This is perfect. You know, this is her from her movie, and I can't imagine it being done any better than this. And also the color here is perfect. You know, it's really hard to get that color right. It's not actually blue, you know, it's more like of a silver with a little touch of blue. And again, they got that color perfect. The only other version of Cinderella with this type of coloration, I think, was like a limited edition D23 12-inch version of her. And you know, she goes for a song in today, but you know, her price may plummet now because of this, because I have a 17-inch version of her that's basically perfect. Again, kind of doing a close-up of the embroidery and the details here. It's just a spectacular release overall. So I gotta say one thing about Saks Fifth Avenue. You know, they do not essentially sell a lot of toys. I don't think they don't, and I don't certainly don't sell dolls in general. So you know, their customer service is a little bit ignorant when it comes to this. They're not quite sure how to handle this. Snow White's release was just a disaster, and this one also was, you know, not very good. She was released early, I think before they were ready. People were buying her pre-order off the app. I do wonder if she was initially going to be 2,500, and I think she probably was, because when you look at the quality, it's just impossible to just kind of, you know, pull another 500 or 250 or 1,000 versions of her just because of demand. And I think there was some speculation maybe, you know, more people were buying it than they were ready for, and they were going to make more. But you can't make more like this without at least 1 or 2 years lead time. I just don't think that can be done. So I think they were always going to release 2,500, perhaps in response to the huge demand of the Snow White release last year. But because of the unexpected influx of orders online through their Saks Fifth Avenue app, I think they had to pull a lot of these from, you know, from the store locations. You're supposed to be able to buy these both online and off the store in person. And I think a lot of stores had their, you know, shipment had to be essentially pulled to fulfill online orders. Believe it or not, she is still available. I think they may have estimated because of the price. Normally at $400, 2,500 limited edition is a huge number for a doll priced this expensively. So she's still available, again, for $395 in tax and shipping. And you know, I mean, I can't justify. I mean, she is very, very expensive. But if you're a Cinderella fan, this is a must own. This is basically the best version of her that exists. And it completely makes the 17-inch older version of her, you know, completely superfluous in my view. I just can't imagine anybody keeping or buying it if you have a chance at this one. So again, a phenomenal doll, phenomenal quality, phenomenal dress. As far as I can say, I mean, I think this is just perfect. And I'm not even a Cinderella fan per se, but if you want to have the best version of her doll format, this is it. Okay, Saks Fifth Avenue, this is a legacy piece as far as that goes. So, very, very beautiful. I'll show the Snow White in a later video. But again, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope if you're on the fence about this, if you are a Cinderella fan, this is again a must own, and it's still available. So you know, I wouldn't dally on that. I have no doubt she will eventually sell out even at 2,500, and she'll become much sought after later on. So one last pass of her face. She's a little bit in shadow. I turn it this way, give a better look. But stunning and phenomenal. So I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, take care, guys.